Paul, I got a question.
Yes.
So you said you can't overwater, but how much should you be watering just to get it?
If plants look like at the end of the day, now see, like that's a little bit wilted now because it's hot, but by the end of the day they won't be wilted. So at the end of the day, if the plants are wilted, they're saying, I'm thirsty. Or if aphids show up, see now listen, bugs will only attack dehydrated, stressed plants. They will never attack a healthy plant. Everybody hear me. I want to adjust your thinking about what you're told in school. See, I went to the same school you did, and they told me that insects were pests. They tell you that in your school? But I'm looking at the Creator, who He is. His essence is love, and He's good. That doesn't line up with His character to create a pest. It doesn't fit. So I'm asking Him, talk to me about these pests. He says, they're not pests, they're my police force. I created insects to maintain a healthy environment. And what insects do is they go around taking out stressed, dehydrated, unhealthy plants, so only healthy plants will produce seed and maintain healthy plants. You see, if a stressed, dehydrated plant produce seed, that plant will eventually become extinct. They get weaker and weaker. So insects maintain a healthy environment. They're taking out all the unhealthy ones. I'm being real. And so I have people call me, I got aphids. Well, water. They call me, I can't believe it. I watered the aphids. Here, you guys are noticing all the water content in my food? When an insect would bite into my food, they drowned. They don't want water. They want cellulose and fiber. So they have to go after something stressed, dehydrated with no water in it to get cellulose and fiber. They're not going to get it here. Look at those cabbage leaves. Look how clean they are and awesome. No bugs biting into that because it's so full of water. Now, if you're a healthy bug and you're looking at that, you're thinking like, that's good food. But they don't come there because you can see they take a bite here and there, but they leave because they don't get any food. They're getting water. So they go after something dehydrated, stress dehydrated to eat. You know, it's so basic when you start paying attention. It's so obvious. It's so like, duh, of course. And it's so amazing how, because we're not looking, we believe all these stupid lies. And here's the insanity of insecticides. Insecticides don't kill insects. It's only temporary. Next generation overcomes it. They build immunity because they're powerful. And it doesn't last. Just like antibiotics. You got it. Because everything in nature is connected to the Father, whose seed is in it, and they're indestructible. They're all about overcoming and surviving. And these stupid chemical companies don't get it. You're not gonna destroy insects. They overcome. And I love Monsanto's genetically modified corn is now being eaten by insects because that Roundup isn't affecting. I mean, that stuff they have in it isn't affecting them because they got stronger. And when they're going to wake up and get you ever notice, if you pay attention to history, prior to 1948 when chemical fertilizers came on, yes?
Are the chickens very healthy?
You're going to see them for a minute when you show up and you tell me. Before 1948, when chemical fertilizers came on the scene, insects never attacked plant life. You lost a few every now and then, but not whole crops. It never happened before. But when the chemical fertilizers came on, whole crops were being taken out by insects because the plants were weak. The chemicals weren't providing their nutrition, no minerals. And because they're weak, insects took them out. And so instead of the agriculture community waking up like this doesn't work, they started trying to kill insects. And the insecticides got so potent, they were killing the plants. So now they put the insecticide in the plants, genetically modified organisms. And that's not working, but it's killing all of us. You know, we're all sick. I'm just telling you, man, it's insanity. It's evil. And we've got to wake up, man, that this influence we're getting is not to our best interest.
What about a moth that eats cabbages?
Oh, these questions are so cool. I had cabbage root maggots. They lay an egg, and the maggots eat the roots. And so when I was tilling my ground, my soil, every year I planted a fall crop of cabbage or broccoli. It get full size, totally heads would develop, and all of a sudden just wilt and die because all the roots were gone. So when I started doing wood chips, it was so awesome. I tell you, I guess this creator really is good to me because he gives me these amazing demonstrations. So I was so freaked out about losing my good garden, I only did half of it in wood chips. Are you hearing me?
Uh-huh.
I just can't lose my good garden. So we had planted this row of carrots and these squash. Well, the squash grew so well it buried the carrots. So my son and I got all the squash out, and I noticed I had this space, and so I went and thinned my broccoli, and I planted it in the wood chips. What was so cool, the stuff I left in the soil, as usual, when they headed up, all wilted and died, but the stuff in the wood chips didn't. And so I asked the Creator what He told me. When the moth flew over those wood chips, he kept going because that's a hard place to penetrate, to get into. He can't get into it. Where this is exposed, easy access, that isn't. I'm just telling you, man, I love nature. It's so profound how it's designed. And it's so built in these amazing issues that just solve all problems. And when you take the cover off, you create all these problems. And then you're out trying to kill them when they're not a problem. Just put the cover back and they're not there. Let me tell you about this amazing revelation about that really woke me up to how all of nature is connected to the Father and in communication one with another. I'm growing celery in my garden. Ever plant celery seed, anybody? Celery seed is like microscopic. It's like dust. It's like a third the size, half the size of like celery seed. It's tiny. And so you drop one, 3 fall. So they come in too thick. There's no way to get them properly spaced. It's impossible. What's this?
Do you need it?
No, I'm fine. And so I got all these really healthy celery plants coming up too tight. I'm thinking like, I'm going to throw those away. So I'm pulling them up. And so I'm going to plant my herb garden. Now in my herb garden, I've never seen a slug. They don't go there. So I went and took up all this celery. And because I bare rooted, it was stressed. So I planted my herb garden all wilts over because it was transplant stress. Come back the next day and my whole herb garden is covered with slugs chewing down my celery. So I asked the Creator, he says, talk to me. He says, just watch. He always does that. Just watch. And so I says, okay. Come back the second day and all the foliage is off my celery. There's stumps. And he says, I asked him, tell me to keep watching. Come back the third day and the slugs are all gone. And they grew back from the stumps and did really well. Here's what he told me. When you move those plants, they put out a signal. I'm stressed, I'm dying, take me out. And all the slugs who had never been to my herb garden heard it and cooperated. And then he told me this. Did you notice where you planted your celery in your garden that not one slug ever showed up there? Because those plants were never stressed. They never put out a signal. We're stressed, dehydrated, we're dying. And the slugs never touched them. And I got the reality that everything in nature is in communication one with another under the influence of the Father for the support and maintenance of a healthy, abundant environment. It's only us that aren't connected that mess things up. It's huge. It's totally huge. It's incredible. Everything gets it. It's so beautiful. The design is so awesome. And here we're out there trying to mess it up and have things fight one another and do all this killing and damage when it's completely unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. See, when insects are attacking your plant, it's a wake-up call. Your plant's not well. You don't kill the insect, you cut your plant well. Same with you. If you're taking care of yourself, eating well, have a proper diet, getting plenty of rest, have a good mental attitude, you can be around people sneezing and coughing with the flu. It's not going to touch you. It's not going to affect you because your immune system works well. Same with plants. The principles are so basic. It's everywhere. And we don't get it. You don't treat disease. You encourage wellness. The body is quite intelligent. It knows how to survive and live well. So don't go taking drugs to kill the disease. Just get well. Take care of yourself because the body will correct. I'm being real. I'm talking from experience. I know what I'm talking about. I can't even remember what a headache feels like. Since I've been eating this live food, I'm blown away at how I feel. I'm being real.
How long have you been living like this?
Well, I came here 37 years ago with my family, but I did a lot of tilling at first.
Yeah, right.
Because I didn't know any better.
Right.
But I've been doing this for about the last 18 years. And I want to tell you something that's powerful. Your body is constantly renewing itself on a regular basis. Every 7 years, you get a whole new skeletal structure. I'm 66, and with this cane in my leg, I fall a lot because I'm moving places where I shouldn't. And I go down hard on concrete, on blacktop, on gravel, hard, on my hip, on my arm. Nothing gets bruised, nothing breaks. And at my age, people do that and break stuff. And I'm telling you, I know I have a bone structure today superior to what I had 25 years ago. It's way stronger because of what I eat. And the reality is, this is so basic, people, you are what you eat. Your body can only create cells from the food you're giving it. And if you're giving your body nutrient-dense, really good food, it creates awesome cells. Conversely, if you're giving your body dead, processed food, it can't create anything but dead, funky cells. It can't, even if it wants to. It can only make from what it has to work with. And if you're eating dead food, connect the dots, dead food can't produce life. It can't. You can't get life out of death. It's just not there. It doesn't fit the equation. And it's so bizarre how we buy all this dead food on a regular basis and think that we're getting something out of it. It's so across the board simple. And I'm just telling you from experience, man, eating live food is awesome. It's just amazing how good you feel. And the stuff tastes good. It's fun to eat, you know, and it's just like, it's so good.
The asparagus was, I've never tasted anything like it.
And I want you to hear me. That's normal. That was how it was created. That's the normal. I'm just being real. I didn't do anything special. I'm not out there trying to make this stuff good to try to sell you a lie. I'm just telling you it's real. I didn't do anything. Just stuff it in the ground, put witches over it and left. That's what happens. Naturally. Without any help. Because it knows how. And it wants to. Nature really wants to be good. They want to. And they're frustrated with us making it hard for them.
I noticed you don't have a rabbit problem.
You see my dog?
Yeah?
You notice I have no fences in my orchard.
Yeah. Your dog.
Dog is awesome. Fences are expensive and they limit your access and they're ugly.
All over our area, rabbit everywhere.
A good dog.
Yeah.
See a dog, that's its home, and it lets everybody else know that this is my home, you're not welcome here.
Yeah.
Every night my dogs are barking because deer come here because they want my food.
Yeah.
And the dogs say, you're not coming here.